What do you do if you show up and you can't vote because you're not on the voting roll?
Well, it's a very good question and a very common problem. I have to say it's probably the biggest issue that comes up on Election Day. So people will come up to the desk and you try to check in, your name is not on the list. There could be a whole lot of reasons that that would happen. You know, for example, it could be your fault because you thought that your registration traveled with you if you moved, but it doesn't. You have to re-register even if you move across town. And it could be clerical error. That's the most common problem, I think. You should not be discouraged. You certainly can still vote. Fortunately, now in Connecticut, we did pass a law that we call Election Day registration. So if this happens to you, you can then go to City Hall, if that is not where you are, because it's usually just one place in each town that we have access to the centralized voter list. Mm-hmm. It's important to explain, I think, first that we do have a statewide centralized voter list, as does now every state in the country. And whenever you're hearing about problems with security, it's usually about the list itself. It is on the internet. And so as a result, we can allow you to register on the spot in that one place, not necessarily in your polling place, but you have to go to town hall. You can register with identification and vote right there on the spot. That has cured a lot of problems that we have otherwise on Election Day. So, for example, we first instituted this process in 2012, and that first year, 30,000 people used Election Day registration to vote, and those are all people that would not have been able to otherwise. So I think it's terrific that we now have this opportunity for people. Otherwise, in the old days before that, if you came there and your name was not on the list, you were out of luck.
Right. So just to be clear, you need your license and your Social Security card?
You don't need the card, but you do need to know your Social Security number. You need an ID, not necessarily a driver's license, but some form of ID that shows clearly who you are. Doesn't have to have a picture. That's the sort of national fight about whether you need a photo ID.
Right.
But you do need an ID, very clear ID.